Waldo County Sheriff's Office has now identified the two people who died from a carbon monoxide leak in Freedom 2 weeks ago.
They say 31-year-old Kanchang Zhao and 31-year-old Bolin Zhao, both of Brooklyn, New York, died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Two other people were taken to the hospital after first responders arrived at the home on Belfast Road on October 22nd. Officials say a propane-fired boiler that was not vented properly appears to be the cause of the leak. While an illegal marijuana grow was discovered at the same residence last May, the sheriff's office says the investigation revealed no criminal conduct at the home.